G'day folks, and welcome to Gourmet's Shed. Well, this week you can probably see from the background here that there's a bit of green stuff over there. I've been doing a bit of scenery for a change on Great Chesterford Junction, and this week I managed to build a static grass applicator, and I've got some grass down, etc. But I mean, the static grass applicator that I built is one that's using a bug zapper, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube about that, how to do it and so on, and it's a great little tool. Mine is this one here, which was made out of the bug zapper, as I said, and a strainer, and it works to great effect. I'm currently working on a smaller version of this which uses a small plastic box, but anyway, that's not what we're talking about this week. Just put that down. Now this week what we're doing is looking at making some hedges or bushes to complement the scenery here, and I'll show you what I mean. Now this is what I'm talking about, is this row of bushes here, which is similar to a hedge. It's a bit more unkempt, I suppose, than a hedge would be. It's not trimmed to perfection, but these are made out of foam rubber. There's actually two here, one there, and they butt up together. But these are made out of foam rubber, and they're coloured up, and there's flocking been added to the top of them. And it's a fairly simple process. It's a little bit messy, and but you know, you can get around that, and you can save yourself quite a bit of money, I suppose. What happened today, I was at my local model shop and I saw some hedges there, and the trouble was that they were too regular, and I thought, you know, why buy these when I can go home and make something? I've got all this foam rubber, so I'll show you how we did it. So just here's an overhead view, just to give you an idea of what it's like. Okay, well, we'll go into the workshop and have a go at this once I answer the phone. Okay, this is just a block of foam rubber. It came from a much bigger sheet, and in the past I've cut the sheets up into blocks this size, and what I've been doing is putting this into paint and squeezing all the paint through to get the colour that I want, and say, you know, some shade of green. And then I've been, once it's dried for about 3 days, dried out completely, then you put it across the kitchen grater and grate it up and make your own flocking. So I'm just using a piece of this as an example. What we're going to do is cut a strip off this to simulate, you know, roughly the width of a hedge or a row of bushes. So I'll cut a slice of that off, and then we can get into the process of how it's all going to work. Okay, I've just cut this little bit. That's about 90 mils long. It's about 30 high, and it's about 20 wide. No point in measuring it accurately. It's just a bush, so we don't want it to look too regular, actually. And I mean, this one is reasonably regular, but compared to a commercial one, it's a bit rough, and that's good. I don't really want a hedge that's too regular, so we'll work on this one. And first thing I'm going to do is get a bamboo skewer, and I'm going to insert that along the length of it, like we're making a kebab, and that's purely to hold it while we add glue and paint and all that sort of thing. So I've just inserted that on the skewer, and we'll stretch it out to its normal length, and it's ready to be worked on there. It's much easier to hold this and work on it and remove it later than it is to try and hold this and work on it. It gets quite messy when you're dealing with glue and paint and all that sort of thing. And on that subject, it's also a good idea to have some disposable gloves, so I'm going to whack those on now before I actually start working on this thing. So yeah, I'll get back to you. Okay, I've got my gloves on. Next patient, please. Okay, let's get down to it. Okay, what I've done is got myself some PVA, and what I've got about maybe, what would that be, a fifth of a bottle of PVA, and to that I've added some black poster paint and some green poster paint to make up a very dark green PVA glue. That saves painting the foam and then gluing the foam. I've worked out I can paint and glue all in one go. That's assuming it works, of course. So what I've got here, you'll see it in a moment, is dark green PVA in effect. So that's what that's all about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add some PVA, my green mix, to the foam rubber, and I've got just a epoxy oil brush here, and I'm going to spread that out onto the foam rubber. Add some more. Put it on nice and thick, because we've got to add flocking to this, so it's got to be wet. And we'll call that side the top. Add some on there, and spread it all out nice and gooey. Put it on the ends as well, and we'll do the other side. Add plenty of it on. Spread it out as usual. It's a bit runny there, that's alright. The sponge sort of soaks it up anyway. Just got to do the end there. Add some on there. Needs a bit more on this side. Okay. Now, that should be wet if I touch it. Yeah, it comes off on my finger. Okay, we'll just put that there for a second, and we'll get some flocking. Put the brush in there, and I might use a darker green. Now I got this from the model shop. I didn't actually make this one myself. Got it from the model shop this afternoon, and it's not a bad colour. Now we'll just take the foam rubber, push it into the flocking like so, and I could probably use a bigger container to do this. Push it on so that it sticks, not forgetting to do the ends as well. And if you do it over your container, whatever's left, you can tip it back into the bag or the box that you keep it in, so nothing's wasted. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Don't waste things. Okay, that's not bad. A bit more around here. It's funny, folks, I've just had that feeling of deja vu, like I've dreamt about doing this years ago. Isn't that weird? That is really weird. Anyway, I haven't done this before, except today I did a little bit. Okay, that's one colour there. Now I'll just give it a bit of a tap, and it gets off any loose stuff. Okay, we're right to go on that one. Now the next step, folks, is I've added a different shade of green into the little box here. Now I can't add the PVA over the stuff I've already done, so what I do is I use this cheap hairspray, a can of cheap hairspray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the foam on the skewer. I'm going to get away from the camera to do this, but I'm going to spray this hedge that I've done so far all over with hair. This is just cheap hairspray. Can't even say it properly. I'll just spray it all over with cheap hairspray, and then I'll come back to the box and I'll sprinkle some of the other colour on to give it a bit more, you know, of a real look, I suppose. That's the idea. So I'll just do the spraying, and then I'll be back. Right, I've given it a good go with the hairspray. I've sort of not saturated it, but it's had a good go. And then I'm just having a bit of a sprinkle here and there over the hedge, and not forgetting the ends, of course, and just give it a bit of a tap. Okay, that's not bad. Just a little bit more, and I'll just go over that again with a hairspray just to sort of seal that second lot I've put on. I think that's okay, just looking at it. We can do any sort of touch-ups once it's actually on the site, but I think that's pretty good. I'll just give it another go with a hairspray. Okay, that's sort of sealed what's already gone on there. I'll just add a couple little more bits. So what we've got is the dark colour behind the light colour. So that's all it is. And I think, you know, it doesn't look much on the skewer here, but we'll put it on the railway to give you a look, and I'll also show you a little idea I've used for getting it off the skewer. And all that involves is getting a pair of pliers. So I'll just grab them. I'll leave that in the box for a tick. Okay, with any luck this will work. So what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing the from the bottom of the foam rubber, the bit that's not coated, our base. I'm grabbing that in with a little pair of pliers and just pull it along. Doesn't really want to move. I'll move further along. Yes, here we go. Using the pliers just to slide it off. This one doesn't want to play the game, obviously. Here we go. It's coming. Okay. Now I'll just put that down here carefully and just let that go off a bit before we do any more with it. Okay folks, this is probably a bit of overkill for a hedge, but you can see how it's come up, and still needs a couple of touch-ups there because I've handled it a bit too early picking it up, so it just needs a little bit of a touch-up here and there, but I mean overall it's pretty damn good. And I'll just pull back so you can get some idea of what it looks like there. So yeah, and we might do a fly over so you can see just a little bit better. Right, here we are. So it's not as regular as a store-bought one, and I think something of this size would be quite expensive actually once you start looking at this sort of thing. The ones that I was looking at this afternoon were only half this size, and I think it was about $7 or $8 for maybe 200 millimeters or something like that. Sorry, not 200 millimeters, about 300 millimeters I would imagine. Well, there we are folks. That wasn't too hard, was it? Just a few little simple things, and it's the old foam rubber again. I think I'm on a bit of a foam rubber theme at the moment, so just bear with me. But it's a very useful material, and once you start getting into flocking and so on, you know, you can spend quite a good deal of money. I know it goes a long way, but you know, I was looking at bags today that was $16 or more, and you know, that's okay. But if you can do it yourself, even better. So yeah. Have a look around and see what you've got in the way of modelling materials and what you can use. Okay, that's all for now. I'll see you next week. Cheers. Gormo.